Welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's just finished 10 minutes ago. Aston Villa won, West Ham United won. 8 games without a win now for West Ham. I'm Gio from HammersChat.com. I've got Kris and Scott, both from HammersChat.com, with me as well, and we're here to talk about the game. We were live at halftime again. You can hear mine and Kris's views. Just click on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and you can have a look at our thoughts at halftime. Scott now gave us his. So, Scott, what did you make of the first half then?
Very, very poor. Was hoping a little bit better than the Swansea game, but I don't think we could have got any worse than that. But I'd have took an ugly win.
Yeah, I think we have to. I don't think beggars can be choosers at this point, Scott. Do you think Cresswell, Scott, got us out of jail a wee bit at the end of that first half with that goal?
Yeah, when it went in, I thought, well, cracking, what a time to score. The Reds are going to go down. We've knocked the stuffing out of them. But it just wasn't to be.
I think we've got ourselves to blame for a wee bit there, Kris. Scott was right. They should probably drop their heads, but I think our first half gave them way too much encouragement. I think at half time they would have been saying, hang on, we've been the better team this first 35. They're mugging us off here. Let's go out and get at them and do what we've been doing. They got their pen. What's your opinion on that, Kris? Was that a penalty?
Yeah, definitely a penalty. Yeah, I think it was Ogbonna's fault, really.
Do you think there was a foul on Ogbonna before he got into the box, though?
Yeah, but as with all of these things, you can sort of look for scraps of hope and you can look for excuses. I mean, I thought there was a handball at the end when Song flicked the ball up, but we didn't deserve to win that game. And Villa possibly deserved 3 points. So you sort of almost have to take the 1 point. I think, okay, we've come away, we're undefeated. I know what you said, whatever, 8 games without a win, but it's possibly whatever 4 or 5 undefeated. So if we can keep doing that a while and wait for our good players to get back, because we had some crap out on the pitch today. When the good players come back, then hopefully we push on a bit.
Yeah, it's 5 games unbeaten now, so 5 games drawn in a row. But only 2 goals scored in that 5 games, which worries me, but we'll cover that in a wee second. Scott, do you think it was a penalty? Do you think it was a foul on Ogbonna before Ayew got into the box, or Guest said, sorry, got into the box?
I think he was just clumsy, weren't he? So it was a penalty. But these things happen when you invite teams to attack you, and that's what we did. We just sat back and said, "Come and get a goal." And mistakes happen when you do that. We shouldn't have been in that situation. We should have been up there and causing them problems, but we didn't.
Yeah, I think when you make Alan Hutton and Bacuna look like Roberto Carlos and Dani Alves, you're going to have trouble, and that's what we did today. We let them look good. Scott, what do you? Kris touched on it there. We'll talk about them in detail. We had 2 penalty shouts there. Mark Noble's volley came off the hands. I think it was Bacuna, and then at the very end, Song tried to play Valencia in, and Westwood kind of leant towards it, who looked extremely fucking guilty in the replay, if I do say so myself. Scott, do you think either of them are penalty shouts?
I think the Song one, but I'm not big on these shouts. I think it evens itself out throughout. You know, there's plenty of times when our hands are going to be going astray and other teams are going to be shouting through. So I think it evens itself out. But maybe it would have had a bit of luck. The Song one would have been.
Kris, your thoughts?
The Song one was slower, so I think possibly with the Noble one, he really whacked it Noble. So possibly you think maybe the guy hasn't had time to react, but the Song was trying to sort of lofted dink in there, and his hand very much sort of moved to that's like an action replay, by the way. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think the Noble one would have been very harsh, considering we did the same last week when Collins blocked a shot in the Swansea box and then got that egg on his head from someone stamping on him. I think you're right, Scott. I think it does balance itself out, but I think we'd be very hypocritical if we went looking for a penalty for a Mark Noble one. The referee, I thought, had a poor game, but I don't know why. I just thought it was getting a bit out of hand in times of country challenges. But I want to talk about one man, Enner Valencia. We all said, we need Valencia back. Kris, you said last week, we need Valencia up front, we need Valencia up front. Valencia was up front. Apart from his free kick at the very end, he didn't do anything for me. People say he's good in the air. Now, before Noble's volley, if you watch it back, the ball comes in, he jumps about 3 seconds too early. He's up at the air at the peak, and the ball's still nowhere near him. Unless Scott gets that easy header out. I'm struggling to see what Valencia brings. In January, if you had to sell Valencia or Carroll, who would it be? What's your opinion on Valencia?
Well, I've been equivocal about how I've criticised him, really. It's yes, I did say that, but that was he should have started in front of Jelavic. I've also said he can't control the ball, he can't pass, he doesn't have a football brain, he can't cross. I just thought he was, really, really crap on the wing, and I just think he's quite crap as a striker. I don't even think he's the best bloke named Valencia in the Ecuador team. That's what I think of Enner Valencia. I think we've spunk the money on, we've wasted the money on him. I think he gets more injuries than he does score goals. We desperately need a striker. Carroll can still do a job coming on as a sub. I think that, but Valencia, I say cut our losses. I think it'd be another Jarvis. What we done? We bought Jarvis for between 10 and 12 million. Sold it for 2.5. I think you see a similar thing. Maybe someone in South America will buy him for 5. But we've been sold a lemon, really.
Scott, what's your opinion on Valencia? Are you the same as me and Kris? Because I thought he was absolutely atrocious today. I thought he lost a lot of attacks going forward, and I feel sorry because I felt Antonio, although he wasn't the best, I thought he was given 100%. He looked to make something happen. You've seen at the end there when he took on 3 players. He does have something in his locker, Antonio. I think he's got potential. But with Valencia, I just don't see anything to get encouraged about. I just look at him and think, well, what does he offer at all during the game? I'd actually rather see an 18-year-old up front than Enner Valencia in the next game if Lanzini and Carroll are not fit. Scott, what's your opinion on Enner Valencia?
I think when he was playing with Saka, when he was playing often, I think he had a few good games then, contributed to us. As a lone striker, I don't think he could cut it. He didn't cut it today. He had a really poor match. But then again, having said that, our tactics today and at Swansea and a few other games don't really suit strikers. Like I said, we're just sitting back. Defence aren't talking to midfield. We're not linking up. Midfield aren't talking to attackers. We're not linking up. We need leaders. I've said it a few times on the forum, and we need leaders. We need somebody to. We need that thread to go through the team and start to pull it together. But I do agree with you. I'd sooner see an 18-year-old, one of the younger lads, starting up front, and let's just get behind them. But this isn't our full team. We are getting people back.
Yeah, Kris, do you think Bilic has got to take some of the blame here? I know last week I asked you this and you said, well, we're waiting for our players to come back. I'm sorry, but that 11 we had on paper today is a lot better than the 11 Aston Villa had, in my opinion. Man for man, we were better. But they played us off the park almost. They wanted it a lot more. I think we've got too much passengers in that team. Individually, they're all good, but for some reason, they're just not playing as a team. And I think you've got to look at the bench to an extent and say, well, what's going on here? What are you possibly saying to your team that you cannot... I just don't think there's something right with the way they're set up at the moment. Kris, what's your thoughts?
Again, we were talking about this in the week on the forum, and we were talking about different formations. It might have even been yourself that put the 3-5-2 thing on there. And I just think it's ridiculous. Not just Bilic. So many of these managers, now they have to do their UEFA B licence, their A licence and their Pro licence. So many of them go and do all this sort of coaching education, and they come on, but they can't actually change the shape of a team, or they can't change tactically. So, yeah, I do think Bilic is to blame, to answer your question. But just going back to Valencia, we all really criticised him then. Obviously, Scott alluded to he had a bit of form when he first joined us. But the one thing he does have, and you saw it at the end, is he has a really good shot. And I guess it's sort of like if you're playing an arcade game, a FIFA game or something like that. If what you've got is a player in there who is 50 for passing, 50 for but he has a 90 for shot, then surely what you need to do is arrange a system whereby that guy can get into a position to shoot. And Valencia's probably not the first choice, but if that's all we've got, okay, and if he's not going to play an 18-year-old, then surely devise a system whereby he can get in and around that D and the other guys supply him, cutting back the ball so he can start hitting 20-yard shots and having a pop at goal. That would be my criticism of things.
But I don't think that would work, Kris. This is Premier League. Most managers, not all, most managers are savvy enough. If Valencia has 1, maybe 2 shots, they're going to say, right, let's get someone on him. And I don't think he's got the ability to go past a man. Zarate does. Zarate can. Zarate knows how to go up to a defender and wait long enough, just long enough, so that when the defender makes a move, he moves and he's past the boy. Zarate knows how to do that. I don't think Valencia does. I just don't think he's got in his locker to go by someone and take the shot. And he does have a nice shot, but then going back to Swansea, he had that shot that got tipped over the bar, but not long after he had a shot and just about hit the corner flag. So he is a bag, but I don't see it. But Scott, you were kind of criticising tactics there. Do you think it's time Bilic accepted a little bit of criticism? If that was Sam Allardyce out there today, the place would go mental, I think. You know, it'd be, oh, Big Sam needs to get out the club, blah, blah, blah. That's 2 weeks in a row now. It's too much like Sam Allardyce for me, Scott. What do you think?
I think my view on it, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I said to you, if we finished a point above relegation, I'd be happy. This year it's about staying in this league, and it's about giving him that opportunity to gel a team and to bring some players in. And I'm still behind him on that. The only criticism I have of him is I thought we were bringing somebody in that would go out with a tactic. It won't be working throughout a game, so that during that game he could change it about. He knew where he was up to, and we haven't got that. Swansea's substitutions completely baffled me. Today, you know, the way he set them up, and fair enough, we started okay, but then quite quickly we were just sitting back and saying, come on then, just attack us. That just got Villa's heads up today. They just thought fantastic. And I was reading it all on Twitter, and I just kept putting Aston Villa in and reading what they were saying. They were loving it, because for the first time they were getting on top of a team. And they were calling us basically that we were rubbish and they should be beating us. You know, I'd like to see him just have a go at a game. And like you said, them players should be winning. Today, if you'd have gone abroad and said, tell me which one of these teams is bottom three, I don't think they could have told you.
Yeah, that's worrying. I think you bang on with that. Don't get me wrong, I'm still behind Bilic. I still prefer him over Allardyce, but everything was rosy when we were going to City and Liverpool and Arsenal. But I just wonder if that's blinded us a wee bit. And we're thinking, yeah, but we've won at these places. But Villa, well, not Villa, the team bottom of the league is your bread and butter points. That's the points you need to be putting on the board. And your City and your Liverpool and your Arsenal are your bonus points in a way, the ones that are going to be the difference between 10th and 6th. Whereas beating the teams as bottom is going to be the difference between 18th and 10th. And I think that's what he needs to be getting at. Like Scott said, I thought we were getting a man. I thought the reason we got rid of Allardyce was because we weren't attacking teams. It was boring. And we said, right, let's get a guy in who's going to go attack teams, and that's going to be Bilic. It's not just, I don't know, I just think the last 2 weeks I've just been really disappointed by our attitude almost. Final word, Kris, come on then, what did you make overall? Anything you want to add before we disappear?
Yeah, I will just add, as far as Allardyce is concerned, I do think Bilic is there's a fallacy about Allardyce, and everybody was saying when he went into Sunderland, and you can actually go back and check on the thread, so everyone was saying Allardyce will come in and Savage and Souness and all these pundits, Lawrenson, were saying, oh, if there's one thing Sam knows to do, it's to organise defence. I said, what did I say? Poppycock, let's say. I said poppycock, right? Sam lets in so many. He's done it today. So many of his times, his teams let in 3, 4, 5 goals. How many times it happened to us? I've lost count. I think that's almost the third time it's been in Sunderland that he cannot organise a defence. So what I'd say in Bilic's defence is he's actually a lot better at organising defence than Allardyce. I don't think Allardyce went on the run that we've just had. If he did, it would have been in the Championship. I think.
What run? Sorry, what run are you on about? What do you mean we didn't have a run?
No, okay, we've been very tight. Our defence has been very tight, and it's a penalty has broken it. Okay, we've not let in many goals. But you said about the last few games, last 6 or 7 games, we've not let in many goals. So you're looking for positives, okay, and that would be a positive. If there's one criticism, it would be that we're not sort of controlling possession, don't look like creating chance after chance, don't ever look to be controlling the game. We're clearly now, and we're going to have to realise that we're a counter-attacking team. And if we are going to counter-attack, then really we do need our best players back, and we're going to have to look to bring in a striker, because we've basically got 3 injury-prone strikers and Jelavic. So we need a striker.
Well, we're going to be back later on tonight with the preview of the Southampton game. I've got 2 different guests for that one, so we'll hear fresh views there. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. Scott, before you go, do you worry we're going to come up against a team like Southampton who are slick in possession, a lot better than Villa with possession? Does that worry you? Yes or no?
No. We play better against them kind of teams. It's these lower teams that worry me. Like we just come off the gas. Strikers worry me because I don't know where the goals are coming from. Later on, I'll put something up on the forum about Andy Carroll and see where we go with that one.
Kris, you confident for Southampton, or does it worry you?
I'm not confident of anything at the moment, but I'm not worried either. Just on that, it's hammerschat.boards.net, which will be the forum that Scott will be posting that on later if you want to join in and argue with him or argue with me, insult Gio, whatever you want to do. Not worries. No, I don't think Southampton they lost today, haven't they, Southampton?
They play later tonight at home to Arsenal. So when you're watching this, there's a good chance they're live on TV. Kick off at 7:45 at home to Arsenal. You might want to criticise me later because when we're doing the preview show, we're going to be talking about a West Ham defender who's just signed a new deal. In my opinion, is not a popular opinion on that. We put our poll earlier. Was it the right deal? 1% said no. That was me. I said no, and I'll explain why later. I'm going to get it in the neck. I'm going to take it though. But Scott, thank you very much for popping on.
Thanks very much.
Kris, thank you.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Hope you all had a good Christmas from us here at hammerschat.com. Come on to hammerschat.com, click the forum, get involved, and go on to the westhamway.co.uk and keep your eyes out because we've got the January transfer window just around the corner, and that's where you hear your news first. I've been Gio, that's been Scott, that's been Kris. We've been hammerschat.com trying to talk a good game. Good night.